You guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Mugged Off, episode 86.
Let's go.
All right. So first, we want to start off by apologizing for last week's episode.
Fucking Fabian.
It's Fabian's fault. No, it's not Fabian's fault. It's we're learning as we go, and they shitted on Brendan in the comments.
Did they?
Yeah, some dude said, what did he say?
Oh, yeah,
exactly?
that's right. I did see it.
What did he say exactly though? He said yeah, I'll read it. Text it to me. Oh, you put it in the chat. Okay, hold on. I'll open the chat right now. Okay.
What kind of rookie producers are you hiring that doesn't have a backup setup in case the main shit fail? Laughing emoji. Everyone behind the camera getting too comfy. Time to put belt to ass in the studio.
Oh, that's what that means?
Jesus Christ.
BTA?
Yeah.
I thought he was promoting his production company. I thought he was saying time to put BTA in the studio.
This is a girl.
Nora? Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
Nora.
it's a woman.
Nora, don't be mean. We're all learning together, and this production crew, we're all the crew.
That's very funny.
And it is very funny. Belt to
very
ass
funny.
is hilarious. But we learned, and we have a backup now on the laptop, so we won't be running into that issue. Next thing we have to back up is the cameras, which we're going to work on that as well. But these SD cards are fucking so much money, bro. It is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Fucking $150 a pop, and we would need 3 of them. So, you know. What else? So sorry about that, guys. You did get the Patreon portion, so if you enjoyed it, please consider hopping over to the Patreons so you can listen to the exclusive shit weekly. Yeah. Okay. If not, I'll go fuck myself. Okay, we're gonna start with. I made some pod topics.
You did,
we had some good
a
shit.
good job. You do a good job of like promoting the Patreon and like
You
your
think
radio
so? I don't
shit.
think it's that good.
No,
You think it's good?
Yeah, just talking. You're not selling anything. You're just
Yeah.
like, hey guys, if you like the shit, come over,
come
and
over.
it's convincing.
Yeah.
And you're not. No, you're not doing it to convince people. You're just doing it because
I want people
it's
to go
genuinely.
Yeah, but that's why I think we do a much better job of promoting it now. Just like just stupid shit. Like we pin it on the comments. We, when we repost people's Patreon shit, like, because in the beginning I get mad insecure because like, you're asking people for money, and that shit always made me feel weird. It always felt disingenuous to be like, pay me money to hear me talk. You know what I mean? And I always felt weird about it. But now I'm like at a point where I'm like, I have a flow with it. In the beginning, it feels weird.
Yeah.
You're like, promote the Patreon. I have a Patreon, and it costs money. And if you want to
self-awareness is so dope to me too, man. It's like, and the vulnerability that you, that's kind of like what you do anyway. But I think that's so cool that you're like uncomfortable with it.
But you know what's so crazy, dog? Like, you look at guys. Well, I look at one group.
Fabian, do me a favor, lock the front door, please.
You can go that way, brother. So there's one group of guys that I look at all the time that I did some research on, and it's History Hyenas. It's Chris Stefano and what's homie's name?
Giannis
I like him
Papas?
a lot. Giannis Papas,
Yeah.
who I like them both. I think they're both really dope. They have the History Hyenas podcast, and they got like fucking, I could be getting the members wrong, but I think it's like 10,000 members, dog.
Wow.
They got like 10,000 patrons. And these motherfuckers get engagement, dog. There's a lot of people I see with a lot of patrons and get like less engagement than we do. You know what I mean? They'll have like 12,000 patrons and we get more engagement than them. And I'm like, how the fuck? Like, how does that even work?
Wow.
But these motherfuckers get like engagement, and they obviously put a lot of shit out on there. I think we kind of match it.
Now, how do you know though? Are you a patron? One of their?
No, so you can go on their Patreon and it'll tell you how many members they have. But
Okay.
I also did research through ChatGPT and Claude, and I put it in both, and I asked them both because it doesn't say there's levels, but you don't know how many members are on each, right? And they have a few different categories. So I asked both. I said, if you were to take an educated guess of what they're pulling in, what would the number be? And they both came up with
Hammer and Nails Grooming Shop for Guys in Ridgewood is for men who expect more. Enjoy precision haircuts, beard care, shaves, hand and foot care, and skin treatments, all in a relaxed, refined environment. Book your experience now at hnnridgewood.com. Buy a gift card, and you can use it anywhere around the country.
the same number. The difference was like they gave an estimate,
Breakdown,
but the difference was the same. It was like between 2,000 to 3,000 off from each other.
Wow.
But I was like, damn, and it was a lot. It was a lot of bread, and I was like, wow, that's dope. Because then I started looking at like, okay, how do they promote shit? And it's not like they put out a lot of stuff. We put out a lot of stuff. Obviously, we do our own clipping and shit, so it's a little different. You know, we're very much so like on the bottom level of production. They are they use a production company, I believe.
Right.
So it's a little different. You know what I'm saying? Because their people are just popping shit out for them.
I mean, we use a production company too. But
Brendan is a production company. But I'm just saying, like,
no, I know what you mean. They obviously started a way long time ago. I always wonder, do you ever get concerned? Like, I mean, you can't change when we started, but do you feel like maybe
I started too late?
Yeah, or the
Yeah, of
tide
course.
might have changed or something like that?
No, I don't think so. I think if you have a quality product, I don't necessarily, the times will always change, but I think if you have a quality product and have a real fan base, I don't think it makes a difference. People kind of use that as an excuse. People try to start a Patreon now. When I started the Patreon, everybody told me I was fucking crazy. Everybody said, you're crazy. No one's going to pay for that shit, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, in the beginning, it was tough, bro, when you have 8 motherfuckers on there, 15 motherfuckers on there, and you're just spending bread, you know? Because at that time, it was 5 bands a month.
That's with every business.
That's with every business. Yeah. So like you grow, like if you were to tell me when I first started, like, oh, Kevin, you'll have 1,000 members in by 2026, I'd be like, holy shit, like that's incredible. Because that's where my mindset was. I said, I just want to hit 1,000 members. You know what I'm saying? I told myself, like, if I could break even, I'm good. You know what I mean? Because at least then we have something pumping out, you know, and I'm not spending any bread. But you know, I look at those guys and they kind of give me like hope. Like, all right, cool, just keep moving, because they've been doing it for a long time, bro. They've been doing it for a long time. And I also spoke with what's homie's name? Joe Santagato. Remember when I went to dinner with him? Right. He was super dope, and I asked him straight up, and the answer he gave me, I was like, okay, I kind of thought that too. He said the first 1,000 paid, because we don't have 1,000 paid. We have 1,200 total, but we have like 700 something paid. The first 1,000 paid, he said, are the fucking absolute hardest. That is going to be the hardest group to hit. Once you hit that, he says the growth will kind of flow. So that kind of gave me. That kind of gave me hope that, like, all right, just keep going. As long as you're putting out a good product, which we are. I genuinely feel like we built a real community. Yeah. I think we built a community everywhere, YouTube, everywhere, but especially on the Patreon. Right? Like,
yeah, that's the first thing they come to when they come to the shows.
They come to shows. We hang out with them.
Patreon.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do shit with them with the short films. We built a real community with them. So it feels good because it's like a perfect amount of people of like, we're engaged. You know what I'm saying? We have a relationship with them. We talk to them. You know what I mean? And it's cool.
Yes, it's so dope. They just DM and they're like, you know.
Yeah, we talk. We chop it up. They come to the shows.
And they feel comfortable doing that too.
Yes.
You know what I'm
saying? It feels like friendship. Like when they come to the shows and shit, we chop it up with them. They know so much about us personally that it just, you can tell they're comfortable. It's not like a nervous, weird shit. It's just like, yo, you're my boy. You know what I mean? And it feels good. Both women and men. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so I'm not worried about it. But I'm glad we were able to give him. I mean, it was an accident, but I'm glad we were able to give him a piece of the Patreon just so they could get a taste of it. And hopefully, some people who enjoy it will hop over.
Do you think that's something that we should do? Yeah. No, I you know why? Because maybe not because.
Well, I was very nervous about it.
The clips. Well, you didn't have a choice.
I didn't have a choice.
But the clips sometimes are from the the Patreon.
Yeah,
too,
a lot
so-
of the clips a lot of times are from the Patreon.
Yeah, so that's kind of like
but it does. You know that the clips that do the best for Patreon are obviously on YouTube. YouTube is we'll dead it right here because I don't want these motherfuckers to complaining. We don't want to care about your fucking Patreon. But yeah, the clips on the YouTube Shorts, when those do the best, that brings the most patrons because that YouTube and Patreon are kind of like they coexist, kind of. You know what I mean? Because if people love you on YouTube and they'll watch you for an hour on YouTube, that means they'll watch you for 2 hours.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
So it's more likely those are the kind of people who will hop over to Patreon.
Okay.
But yeah, we had a good week. We went to Arlington. I know you didn't really like it that much there. I mean, it was obviously small shows, nothing crazy.
No, it was fine.
Yeah,
It was fine. I just didn't feel like the response, but it was fine.
it was fine.
was
Yeah,
fine.
it's nothing
Yeah.
we haven't done before.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
nothing
yeah.
we haven't done before.
And
It
you
wasn't
know,
anything new.
Yeah, you know what? I'm kind of over like, I was being dramatic, obviously, in my
No,
post, but it
I mean,
it
it's
just
no different.
sometimes it
It's no
doesn't
different
feel
than
good.
my shit. You guys missed a lot of it because I was in the first hour of, I believe, of last week's. But did we talk about on the Patreon the funny as fuck audition? No, we talked about that in the first half. Okay,
Yeah.
so I had gotten a funny as fuck audition through my management.
I was fire.
It wasn't fire.
Hold on.
Hold on, let me finish.
Yeah,
Let
go
me
ahead,
finish,
go
and then
ahead,
you
go
can talk.
ahead. Yeah.
I was lucky enough to get an audition. Now the way these auditions work is it's random, right? So like the people who hold the casting auditions, Allison, who's super, I didn't meet her, but she follows me on Instagram. She's always in super dope, and she's the one who reached out to my manager. So super grateful for her. The way they do these things, well, at least for me, at least for a lot of people, it's a showcase. So they'll tell you to go to a club, just a club that matches their availability, the club's availability, and yours. So we went to the Stand in the city, and it was the small room. It was like, what, 30 people in there maybe?
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
25, 30 people. A mixture of people. It's not industry people. It's not. It's. There's one industry person in the back. Everyone else is just regular people who are regular folk who are walking by, want to see a comedy show. Tourists, old people, young people. There's no dynamic really. And I've done other showcases. But this one was different because the last showcase I did was at New York Comedy Club, and that was different. I feel like when people go to the New York Comedy Club, it's like more, not to say that this place isn't established. It is established. I don't mean that as like a dig. But New York Comedy Club is like, has that name. You know what I'm saying? Similar to like the Cellar, right?
Yes.
I would say
think so.
they're the same. The Comedy Cellar is obviously like
Yeah,
elite,
yeah. No, yes.
but New York
I know
Comedy
what
Club
you're
has
saying.
that.
Yes.
So we came off the weekend, so I was feeling good. So it wasn't like, And then the host went up there, came out, and was like, first thing she said to me was like, "Ugh, they're rough."
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "I just bombed up there for 8 minutes," and I was like, "Oh fuck," And I'm like, "All right, cool, here we go,"
Right.
And I went on stage and. I feel like I did my thing. Normally, I would get really upset at myself if I felt like I didn't do as well as I could possibly do. Now, I'm sure I could have done a little bit. You can always do a little better. You can always make a facial expression a little better. You can always make your tempo a little better. There's always ways to make it better every single time. But I don't really judge myself based on those little things. The full picture, the full 5.5 minute set, I asked myself, did I do a good job? And I felt like I did a good job. But that crowd was just, and we've done it before where you just go in front of a crowd who's just, oohing and ahhing. And these were all mixture of old. There was a young dude in the front. He's like holding his mouth, trying like not to laugh out loud because he doesn't want to be embarrassed by the end. I'm like, motherfucker, open your mouth. Let the bitch in the back hear you, son. Like, what are you doing, son? And then I did look in the back corner, where I believe she was sitting, and they were laughing. So that was, I guess, a good sign. But I walked out of there sure that I was not getting a call back. And I felt shitty that night. And I woke up over it, like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I called Lucy, and I was like, she was like, how'd it go? I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna get it. I was like, it wasn't, you know, I don't want to say wrong place, wrong time, kind of just not meant for me. Meant for me. Wasn't the best. Because I don't like blaming shit on a crowd. To me, that shit is corny. You know, I don't like that shit. Like, you can't blame a crowd. You know what I'm saying? If they don't like your shit, they don't like your shit. But like, blaming a crowd to me was always like very like, ugh, I don't like that shit.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say that, but I did say that to her. I was like, they were pretty brutal. And I said, these were people who weren't used to, you know, I'm edgy and this and that. And the girl before me, you know, she was like, they were oohing and on at my shit. And I'm like, oh God, if they're oohing and on there, your shit, they're going to be like, oh shit. Right. So I didn't think that I was going to be right for it regardless, in my opinion. I had this idea in my head. I said, and I told you this, I said, I'm not going to change my style. I'm not going to change my jokes. I'm not going to change how I say things, how I articulate things, because if I want them to like me for me, because my fear, like the reason I didn't want to go on, I had the opportunity to do one of the late shows, and when I was with Frosty, and they were like, you got to clean it up. You got to do 5 minutes of clean material. And I'm like, it was hard for me, Lee. I remember being in my crib and like trying to type out 5 minutes of like real clean cut material. And I'm like, this shit ain't me. Right. But I knew, I'm like, but you know, from their eyes, their perspective, they're like, but it's an amazing opportunity, blah, 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 blah. You can get out there. And I'm like, yeah, cool. But like, also not me. It just, so my worry always is like, let's say I did go up there with some clean shit that made old people laugh, young people laugh, you know, some clean shit that wasn't edgy, that didn't kind of teeter, you know, not disrespectful. I don't talk politics or anything like that, but just real raw life shit that sometimes people can be like, right. You know what I mean? I understand that, I feel that, but I can't say that shit out loud. Right. And my worry is always like, all right, let's say I go up there, murder, do some like clean shit, but it's not me. And now I get the opportunity based on what I performed. Right. Now I go up there and I'm like, well, the rest of my hour, I'm not gonna write an hour of clean shit. Right. So the rest of my hour, then it's like, oh, whoa. But that's too much. That's not what we saw. That's not what we saw. It's not what you sold us. We paid for this, and you gave us this. You know what I mean? So I told myself in the beginning, go in there, and that's it. And just be me and not give a fuck. So I didn't think I was going to get it from jump, because I was just like, I don't think it's going to be the kind of thing that people are going to want to put on TV for the masses. I've never seen the last season, okay? So I could be talking out of my ass. I'm just going based on like my thought process, what I think network television likes, a network like Netflix of all places. You know what I'm saying? Right. The only real edgy motherfuckers that I see that are on there that talk real shit is Chappelle, who's a fucking legend, and he could say whatever the fuck he wants. And Kill Tony, who is massive, and those motherfuckers bring in so much revenue. I don't think it matters. You know what I'm saying? Netflix is like, you guys are gonna make us so much money. Fucking do whatever you want. But so it bothered me that night. I spoke to Chrissy about it. I spoke to you about it briefly. You know, I went to bed, woke up, back to my shit, bro. Like, whatever. It is what it is. It was a cool opportunity. Grateful to get it.
I think that just being asked, and I didn't know about the late night thing, but just being asked to do that is dope. And I disagree, because I think the name of the game for any TV show is eyeballs, right? So I would imagine that they could be like, all right, let's see what else you got. Come, because we want people to see, you know, we want your fan base to see you on Netflix. We want to bring more eyeballs. So to me, I'm thinking from that business perspective.
Yeah, but if they didn't, Yeah, I when I walked out of the Netflix is a joke one, I was like, I think I might get this. I remember walking out of there like, I did better than everybody else. I think I might get this. You know what I mean? And I didn't walk out of there. I didn't see anybody else's set. So, we left. But I walked out of there like, I ain't getting this.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, if I'm walking out of there, like that, then I don't think I'm getting it, which is cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it was an opportunity to do something, and it didn't happen, and that's it.
Really cool to get even asked.
Yes, very grateful.
Third time doing a short set.
Third time
which
doing a
is
short set.
Insane.
First time ever doing a short set was in front of fucking 12,000 people.
Yeah. Insane for you to even get that at that point. That's the kind of what I want maybe people to understand, because that's not easy to be asked to do that after only having, I mean, there are people who are like 4 years in but a lot of some of those people probably started doing 5 minutes.
And they're probably still doing like 10, 15.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're not.
Right.
So, yeah, it is a difference.
That's where you start off comedy.
And I'm not making excuses.
No. What I'm saying is how incredible it is to even be asked, and what the difference is.
It's a very big difference.
When you start in comedy anywhere, you're doing 5-minute sets.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way you build up your set, and you transition to 10 minutes, and then you might be getting more spots the time that you're in. But for the most part, you're getting 5 to 8 minute sets, and that's all.
That's it.
A lot of people for years. That's what people do, when you kind of mix in and you build. But yeah, to be asked, that shit is pretty.
Because mine was the opposite. I started at an hour and just always did an hour.
Yeah.
So, for me.
And people might think, oh, just take this shit. No, but it has to be context and flow.
It has to be
you're
context.
a storyteller.
My flow is slow.
Yeah,
I have a slow.
Yeah, and you're a storyteller.
I'm a storyteller, so I tell a story. So like,
it's incredibly difficult.
It's a slower flow. And that's what I told her, because I said, listen, I know I got 6 minutes, but I timed my shit. It's closer to 5.5. So stay here, because I might. Depending on, give or take 10, 15 seconds, you're going to be here. I'm going to only be up there for 5:15 to 5:30.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay. She almost seemed like she was shocked that I knew that, like for sure, and I'm like, well, I've done this enough, know? Right. But yeah, it was because I knew there was another thing I could have added, but it would have made that shit like 750 at least.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like,
I
don't want to go over. I don't want to go over.
So in showcase set, first of all, it's a Monday.
It was a Monday.
It's a Monday
at 7
o'clock.
Oh my God.
Early show. The people haven't really started drinking, and these are not excuses. This is just
they're not drinking. Nobody was
from what I've experienced being in comedy. I'll do a 6 o'clock show. Sometimes they're fantastic. Sometimes they're like, the people they aren't even ready for it. So it's a Monday night. It's difficult. It's 7 p.m. You get in a mixed crowd. A lot of people, they don't know who they're going to see.
And the nerves are different. And I'll tell you why, because I said to Chrissy too, I said, the nerves, we get nervous before every show, right? Every show. But when you go on stage, it's a calm that kind of goes over you, because you're in it.
Right.
And it's just like, you're in it.
I'm here.
Like, blah, blah, blah.
I've done this before.
When you do shit like this, it's a little different, because it's like, there's more of I wouldn't say pressure factor, more of a judgment factor. For me, where I think the judgment factor comes from is not from Shorty in the back. It's not from like, oh, there's a person from Netflix. Because I've done industry shows like at the Hollywood Improv, and everyone in there. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
We did that showcase.
Well, I wasn't there, but
you weren't there. But everyone in there was
industry. Yeah.
Was industry, and like high industry, like big industry, big casting. What is it? Aliens outside, bro? What the fuck was that? Big like casting directors, like all the Hollywood industry people were there. Ian was supposed to be there. Like, these are big shots. Producer Stacy, this one. I'm like, oh my God. And I murdered that shit. That shit was incredible. I felt amazing after that. Nothing ever came of it, but still, I felt amazing. I don't get that kind of pressure. Is not the pressure I'm talking about. The judgment factor comes from the industry. And I tell you, so I felt a lot more comfortable with you there, but I told you this. The last time I went to a showcase, I didn't come up in New York City comedy. I didn't. I'm a lone soldier, bro. I do my own thing. I run my own business. I have my own fans. I don't rely on sets and people and clubs and this and that. I have an agent. He books my shows. I go do my thing, and that's it. New York City comedy is very different. It's like a cult, right? That's how I look at it. I mean, you were in it, so you could chime in, but like to me, it feels like a cult, very culty, you know. And everyone kind of says the same thing. Like everyone has the same talking points. You, Nick, anyone else I've ever met has the same kind of thing that they say, you know. And there's a mindset to that. And there's a judgment factor for people like me who never had to go through any of that shit. So people who, you know, a lot of it is ego and jealousy. Some of it is just maybe they genuinely feel like you skipped the line, right? What they don't understand is, well, you can skip the line too, build a fucking fan base. Everyone knows that now. Now the game is different. But like in the beginning when I first started, it was a little different. And you get this judgment and you can feel it when you walk in. And when I went for the New York City Comedy Club, I remember I went there early because you know me, I like to go there early. And I was like, why the fuck did I do this, bro? I'm sitting there with my book bag on. And,
the other day, what did we do? What did we do Monday?
Bro, Lee. But then I was making bread at the time. So, of course, like I wasn't even thinking. I went in there with my fucking diamond chain. I got my Rolex on. I got my book bag on. I had just came from a show. So I was like, I'm chill, like, you know, and it was terrible. Everyone's staring at me. No one wants to help you. Hey, I'm here for this. No. And these are motherfuckers who know, who can tell you, yeah, go downstairs. I had to call the owner, Emilio, who I have a relationship with, to fucking come himself.
Wow.
Bring me down. And I didn't want to do that, but I called. I said, hey, Emilio, I'm here, bro. Oh, you here, bro? I'll be right there. And he came, you know, he's amazing. And he brought me down and said, yo, hang out down here. All the other comics here, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, and then so the owner's walking me down. And, you know, these are all comics that like want to have relationships with him. And you know what I mean? And so I'm like down there like, what's up? And you know me, dog. I don't like when people try to make me feel uncomfortable. If you try to make me feel uncomfortable, I'm going to give you that same fucking energy because it makes me feel uncomfortable. So now we both going to be uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm like loud and I'm not, because you see the motherfuckers whispering and I'm like, oh, what y'all whispering about? You know what I mean? Like, because that, I don't like that shit. Don't do that shit because it does make me feel uncomfortable. And I'm not going to sit in the corner uncomfortable. We all going to be uncomfortable. We all gonna be uncomfortable. Anywhere for me to sit, you know what I'm saying? What y'all got to eat down here? You know, we're all gonna be uncomfortable. Fuck that. And I remember after that telling myself, like, you can feel the eyes and everyone's looking at you like, oh, let's see what this motherfucker got, bro. Like, what you bringing to the table, dog? You know? That judgment, that pressure from that niche of people makes me nervous. And I don't know why, but it does. And when I remember we've had this conversation many times, and Lee came to, which I was super grateful for because it did make me feel substantially better.
Good, man.
And we went in together. And I already told you, I said, motherfuckers, you'll ask people, nobody wants to help you. First thing we do, we walk up to the hostess. Bro, she looked at me like I had a dick on my head. I said, hi, I'm here for the audition for Funny as Fuck. Shorty went. And Lee goes, let's just go to we'll go to the back. And I'm like, okay. And I said, see, fuck, everyone look at you like you're an asshole. Like, I'm not trying to flex. I'm trying to know where the fuck I got to go. I don't know.
Who do I gotta
you're walking
talk
into
to?
a restaurant, essentially. So then I walk in the back. We're chilling by the bar. We don't know who to talk to.
We don't know who to talk to. Nobody's.
So, and you know, I'm not gonna just bother Lucy and call her and have her call someone and have when all these people are right here. You know what I'm saying? That's some bougie shit. You know, I'm gonna call my manager in LA and say, hey, call someone who's here and have them pop up and look for me and I'm wearing a hat and you know what I mean? So then I saw homie who he looked comfy. He looked like he was sitting on, he was talking to some shorty, blah, blah, blah. He's just bullshitting. So I said, oh, homie looks like he works here. And that's exactly what I said to you. I said, he looks like he works here. So Lee and I went up to him and I said, hey, what's up, man? Sorry to bother you. Just like that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, so sorry to bother you. You work here? Homie just stares at me. Something like that. And I knew right then and there, I'm like, damn, I called the owner. Because only owners would respond in that way.
Right.
On that ego shit.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? Because they feel a certain way, like, and they know he knows who I am. You know what I mean? But of course they pretend.
Right.
Like, I don't know who you are. You know what I mean? Fuck you. You know, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
But it's that corny shit, because now it's just weird. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm just trying to figure out, yeah, you gotta look for the skinny guy right there. You know, points to some dude. You don't talk to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You talk to homie right there.
Right.
Homie came, you knew him.
Yeah.
He was really nice.
Yeah. Nice
really
kid.
sweet guy.
Nice kid.
And was very helpful. And after that, we were good money. But when I'm there alone and going through this shit, like I was there with you, so I had someone to talk to, someone who knew me, someone who understands, someone we could laugh about what just happened. But if I don't have that, I sit with that shit, and it fucking it kills me, dog. And all that energy goes to nerves.
Right.
Instead of it doesn't go to anger.
Right.
It doesn't, like in the moment, it feels like, oh, these motherfuckers. But instead, it just goes to this awkward feeling that you're like, now I got to go on stage in front of these motherfuckers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like prove myself.
Yeah.
And it's really frustrating,
Now you got
bro.
a few things to overcome.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it worse, specifically in those environments. So again, brother, thank you very much for coming, because that helped me a lot, because I don't do well in those environments. That's why I never went to go do spots and shit like that, because I believe you need to work on your craft, but like, you know, these motherfuckers are like clicked up.
Yeah.
They're like friends, and you know,
everybody knows each other. Well, that's the thing though, is that you kind of have to do that in the city, because comedy is so hard. You know this. Comedy is so difficult, and it's even more difficult in in New York, that you have to be with somebody who's going through it with you, kind of like Nick and I. You have to be with someone who's going through it for you to be able to get through it and to keep going.
Understood.
And to keep pushing.
But I've met a few people, it's a handful, it's not a lot, okay, that were really good dudes though. That didn't, you know, because I think of a lot of it, I always just judge back. I go back to myself. If I'm an owner of a comedy club, okay, and a dude comes in, and I can say this with certainty. If homie comes in and goes, hey man, with respect, and says, hey man, I'm sorry about it, like, you work here by any chance? Like, me no disrespect, like, I would say, yeah brother, yeah, this is my spot, what do you need?
Yes. I mean, I have to do it here. Yeah.
Right?
When I'm sweeping,
yes,
I got it.
Yeah. But yeah, this is actually my spot. What do you need? Absolutely.
I'll help you out. Yeah,
oh,
sure.
you're here for this? Yeah, no problem, man. Listen, let me get you. Let
me get you somebody who can help you out.
Let me get you somebody who's gonna help you. This is blah blah blah. What's your name? Oh, you're Kevin. Kevin, this is Matt. Blah blah blah. You guys, you know,
yes.
Yo, nice to meet you, man. Good luck.
Yes.
And out.
That's it.
Because that is, in my opinion, that is how you treat people.
Right.
It's just how you treat people. And in comedy, these motherfuckers don't know how to treat people. They don't know how to talk to people.
Part of it is that they think that you have the ego.
Right. It's
so
always like that.
They're preparing themselves.
Yes. For me.
For your ego.
Yes.
Which is so weird.
Stupid.
Just be normal.
Just judge me based
yourself.
on how I come.
How you react to
right.
Right.
If I came and was like, yo, what's up, bro? You work here? Or even just, you work here?
Yeah.
Then I could understand.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Then it's like, what? Who are you talking to?
Right.
Because I would also come with an energy. If you came up to me and said, yo, you work here? Yeah, I work here. How can I help you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I would have how can I help you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'd have a little bit of an attitude.
Yeah.
But you know me, dog. I never come like that. And you were right there.
Yeah.
I never have that swag. I'm always like, yeah, even when I'm upset, even when things are going like not my way, whatever, I try to take a breath and just, because that's just how you talk to people.
Right.
Right? And in comedy specifically, And look, I worked as a cop. I worked in many industries where motherfuckers don't know how to talk, okay? But the worst by far is comics. And I think it's because comedy is so hard and so difficult that there's this internal ego of like, I'm better than you. Even though it's an insecurity, it's both an insecurity and an ego-driven thing. It's both, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's so weird.
It's like an insecure thing. You're the most insecure in the room, but you have to pretend to be the most confident. So, and you've trained yourself and you've mastered being confident even though you're insecure.
You're not confident.
So you keep that thing always, where I don't. I'm very humble and quiet. Hey, how you doing? I make everybody feel comfortable because if I make you feel comfortable, you'll make me feel comfortable, and we gonna be all good.
Yeah.
But it don't work like that in comedy. In comedy, you try to make them feel comfortable. They think you a bitch and they think they could talk to you a certain way. Now it's weird.
Yeah.
Now it's weird. Now I feel like I want to slap you.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and now you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and then it's now it's just why I don't understand that shit, bro. It drives me nuts, and that's why I can never be in those rooms, dog. Like even when we went with Nick, when Frosty got him the audition, okay, and we went there to support him, and you know me and you,
fire,
me and you, we sat upstairs, and I remember being so happy that I wasn't there for me. And you know, and Nick would have asked me like, "Yo, your agent got me an audition. Why don't you get the audition?" And Frosty would have given it to me. I didn't want it,
Right.
because I didn't want to go in that room and suck everybody's dick. I couldn't do it, and that's honestly that's my ego, right? That's still an ego thing.
Yeah,
that's an ego thing.
yeah.
I didn't want to go in there and suck all their dicks. You know, you got Kevin Hart walking in there, and everyone's in there, and you know what I'm saying. We're just looking around like, oh, look, this is crazy, you know. And Nick was obviously really nervous and excited, and he did an incredible job.
Great job.
He didn't get passed, but he did an incredible job. But I remember being there and being so thankful that I wasn't there for myself, because I remember when I walked in there with Nick, they were like, "Who's this?" Like. He's here, you know. Yeah, it was like that weird shit. And I'm like, oh, I'm just here to support my friend, and da 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 da.
Really?
And I could have been on some like,
Fuck you mean?
my agent brought me here. You know, I could have
Flex
been
on
like,
him.
shut the fuck up. You know?
Yeah, but was somebody there to greet him?
No, bro. Nick had to go to the back, and what's her face? What's her name? Shorty who runs the shit there.
Yeah, I forget.
She's a big,
I forget.
big wig out there.
Yeah.
Everybody knows her.
forget.
But she runs the cellar. She was in the corner with like.
Oh,
bro,
he had to go to her.
Yeah, she was in the corner with a bunch of big comics, bro. Like Nick would know all their names. I don't know any of their names, but she was with some big comics in the corner. And I remember Nick being nervous, like fuck, like, and I'm like, go up to her, bro. Like, just tell her you're here. They said that because that's what Frosty said. Frosty said, go to her, tell her you're here, check in, blah blah blah. And I remember him like going back there, and I remember seeing how all the guys looked at him. Now these are all past comics that are at the cell and solidified comics.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them Nick knows from like back in the day who got passed there, whatever. And I remember him walking over there and like introducing himself, and everyone just looking at him like he had a dick on his head. Like,
wow.
And this is one of your own.
Right.
Right? This is
Yeah.
a guy who did the things
Right.
that you want him to do. And it was at that moment I realized,
Wow.
oh, it got nothing to do with me.
Right.
It has nothing to do with me. This has everything to do with what kind of people they are.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all that is.
Interesting.
It
Yeah.
just has to do with what kind of people they are. Period.
Yeah.
Comedy breeds a certain personality. And in my opinion, that personality is fucking shit. And it's very rare to find dudes like you and in the game. I remember that's the first thing I said, Nick, because even Nick has that, like, he has that city swag. He has that attitude, right? Me and Nick's relationship was different because I had given him an opportunity, so he was appreciative. So he didn't have that swag with me, at least in the beginning. So it was different with us.
Yeah.
But with you, it was always the same. It never changed.
Yeah,
You were just that guy. And Nick, I remember Nick saying that. Nick said, I got this guy. He's amazing, man. He's super nice. He's successful. He has his own career, blah, blah, blah. He's just, you know, I think you would love him. He's a black dude, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, bring him on. And, you know, and you came from Philly, and that's how we met. But I remember being so shocked, and that's why I wanted you around, because I was just like, I have met so many comics, and I've seen it, bro. Like, I've seen dudes. You see it change. Like, motherfuckers who like don't start in comedy, but like will go to do the, like, for example, who's homie from the Jersey Shore? Vinny from Jersey Shore. He started doing stand-up, but he did it in the city. He started like moving and shit, and he started moving with those comics and shit. And you could see like the shift. It's like it's a shift. That shit breeds.
You start to become those
you start to
people
become
that
like that, bro.
Yeah.
And it breeds like a personality, and it's I hate it, bro.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah, and maybe it's they're morphing into the personality of the people who made it. So you kind of feel you have to be like that for whatever reason in order to make it.
And everyone's telling you what you have to do.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. No one ever told me what I had to do.
Yeah.
A couple people would tell me, but like not in the game. You know what I'm saying? You had like outside people being like, yo, you got to do this and this and this. Trust me, I know. You know, managers, this, that, whatever. You know, but nobody who's doing what I was doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Could tell me shit.
Yeah.
Don't tell me shit.
Right.
You know, I'm doing what I'm doing.
Right.
So these guys can't tell me anything.
Yeah.
You know, because you're not touring, you're not selling tickets.
Right.
You can't tell me shit.
It's a completely different ball.
You can't.
Game.
It's a different game.
Yeah.
You can't tell me shit. You haven't hit that step yet. When you hit that step, I'll give you some advice. You know what I'm saying? But you can't give me advice.
How can you give me advice? You've never done it.
You've never done it. You can give me advice on how to maneuver in the city and like how to get spots and this and that. But you can't tell me how to do my job.
Yeah.
This has been my job for years.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing. So I mean, look,
it's difficult, man. Having done it for 10 whatever years, and luckily we linked up, because it would be rough, man. Like, my boys now, they're a couple of clubs doing without those clubs, like, and I'm still kind of in the scene, and that when we're not on the road, I'm doing spots, right? I'm trying to keep fresh or warm or get on stage.
Yeah, you go a lot.
Just do the thing.
Yeah.
Man, if it wasn't for the couple of clubs that I'm in right now, I wouldn't be doing comedy in the city, because it's rough, man. It's fucking, you got to go hang out. We talked about this. You got to go hang out at the clubs, kind of kiss up to everybody. And kind of like fucking, I'm trying to get to be friends with the owner.
For that shit.
Yeah, I can't do that. That's not who I am to begin with.
Right.
And I have other responsibilities that I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the way it is, man. But you kind of have to do those things in order to get in, or else you won't work.
You won't work.
Yeah,
I get it. I get why people do it. If you are I wouldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I know that. I couldn't do it. If you told me in the beginning of all this, if the agent called me and said, Kevin, I want to give you a shot to give you a show, but before I give you a show, you need to go do 6 months of comedy in the city. Okay? Because that's what everyone tells you in the beginning. You got to go do sets. You got to go get spots, do open mics, do this, do this. And he didn't say that. JJ was like, don't fucking go there. You don't need to, fuck those motherfuckers. They're going to try to change you.
Yeah.
And he was like, fuck no. But if he would have told me.
That's so smart.
Yeah, if he would have told me,
so
I was a cop. If he would have told me, yo, Kev, you're going to have to go to the city, I would have went one time. I would have went once, because I would have said, all right, like, maybe this is an opportunity. Fuck it, let me go. I would have went one time, and I would have walked in there, and I would have been like, I'm never coming back here again. I'm never fucking doing this again, because it wouldn't have so I'm gonna go do an open mic in front of 6 other comics who are staring at me like I got a dick on my head, not know if the jokes work, and do that for 6 months to then go in front of a crowd who loves me, who's gonna be cheering, and for what?
Yeah.
For what?
Well, I mean, Ray did the same thing, man. He did the same thing. He's like, I can't do this. This is not gonna work for me.
Right.
And
but the difference with Ray was Ray kind of wanted to do what I was doing, right? Like how I started. But the difference was he didn't have 45 minutes. That was the major thing.
That
was the biggest part.
That's a huge part of it.
If you don't have 45 minutes, like, and I told them, I said, yo, let him do a show. But they're like, he doesn't have enough. Okay, well then you can't do a show with 20 minutes.
Right. You can't.
You
do
can't
a
say
full show.
come guys, see me,
and
pay
only
to
be
see
up-
me
yeah.
for a 20-minute show.
Yeah, I think he, the amount of work that it takes to get.
It's a lot.
That's why I say what you've been able to do, and what people in your position. I haven't seen a lot of people, but the people in your position, 45 minutes, bro. That's such a long time.
Such a long time, bro.
To make people laugh and be consistent and do 45. I don't have 45 minutes, and I've been doing this shit 10 years.
You're close.
But
You could do
that
30.
shit is so fucking difficult and impressive, man. It's so hard to do, man.
It's a different. But it is what it is, brother. It was a good opportunity. I keep saying that to myself, but and I do believe it was a good opportunity.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even say it was a good opportunity. I'm not even gonna say that. I'm gonna say I am grateful for the opportunity. I don't think it was a good opportunity. I don't think it
meaning
matched
it
my
wasn't
level of
the right circumstances.
right circumstances
Yeah.
for me, and the situation
Right.
or whatever. But I would say I'm very grateful for the opportunity. I'm grateful that
Yeah.
Shorty thought about me.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that Shorty spoke to Lucy. I'm grateful that
Yeah.
Lucy hit me.
Yeah.
So I am grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, brother. I mean, we talking about it today, so it was worth something.
Yeah.
know?
No, I think it's all dope. I think it's all reps. I think it's all. It's kind of like I always say this, like talking to, like trying to, how we used to try to bag shorties back in the day.
Yeah.
Like you got to go through the nose, and you got to go through all of these, to get to that one yes. So all of these things that you go through, whether it's the, and that's what real comedy is like, the showcase set. Going through that on Monday, going through the other experience of the Netflix is a joke. You got to get through all of that to get to the final.
Yeah, you got to learn.
To that yes. Yeah.
You got to learn.
So get all of that shit out the way. I think it's dope. I thought it was dope. And I was happy to be there, man.
Yeah. I was happy you were there. We still got a little while, right? 15 minutes. Okay.
You want to say that for the Patreon, the young
What?
lady who got who sent us the message about
Was she a patron? We could talk about it here.
I think she's a patron.
So
a young lady
you talk about
a
it.
young lady DM'd me, and we didn't know the full story until she got in there. She DM'd me. She said, "I'm from Queens. I've been waiting to see you guys. I'm a patron. Can I come see you guys after the show? Can I come see Kevin after the show?" And I was like, "Yeah, just DM me when you get here." She sent a picture of who she was and stuff like that. And after the show, she had a good time. She was so excited. I went after the show. I was like, "Hey, come on up and see Kevin." She was so excited. She bought
Very nice.
She brought a friend with her. Who I think it was a friend's birthday, who was also very nice. So I brought them backstage, and she started to tell you a story, which was so wild.
She said, "Oh, I actually got catfish by you on TikTok." And I was like, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah. So someone who had your profile," and she showed me the profile, which is like, I'm like, why? Why do you? How do y'all let this shit happen, son? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How y'all let this shit happen?
Yeah.
And because there's so many fake profiles of me on the TikTok, and I get shit like that all the time. DMs on Instagram. They're like, "Hey, is it really you asking for money on TikTok?" And I'm like, "Fucking no, it's not me asking for money. I never fucking asked you guys for money. If you want to sign up for my Patreon, but I ain't asking y'all for money." So, and I've tried on multiple occasions to reach out to TikTok to verify my profile, but they'll never do it. So, like, it is what it is. Yeah, they never do it, bro. I've showed them dozens of fake profiles. They don't give a fuck. It's so weird. It's political. It's very weird.
Really?
Yeah, it's political. It's so weird.
wild.
I don't understand it. I've had everyone reach out, apply for me. They won't verify me. So she tells me the story about how this guy, and she's married. She's married. She has
married.
and the story was, and you correct me if I'm wrong. She said that was it for money? What was it again?
So a guy reached out and started
talking
to
to her about meeting up, right? Or no?
I don't know if it
No,
was
but there
about
was some
meeting
sort
up.
of situation.
But she was
got
trying to
hacked.
connect. She was trying to connect with him. And here's what it was. is that he was like, here, download this thing so
we can talk in private.
In private. Yes.
That's what it was.
Yes.
So he had given her, this person had said to her, like, hey, let's talk in private. I don't feel comfortable talking on here. And which she said, like, oh, well, that's fucking weird. Like, I'm just a fan of yours. You know what I mean? Like, you know, but she was like, oh,
the fact that he responded kind of like caught her attention.
Caught her attention, caught her off guard. And she was like, yeah, I would like to talk to you.
Right.
So, first of all, this dude hit her up and said, hey, like, thanks for your support. Blah,
right,
blah,
because
blah.
she commented on one of your actual posts.
And this guy responded from the comment.
And maybe it's not a guy. It could have been a girl.
It's a dude from India. Or a dude from fucking the Congo. You know what I mean? Like, so he hit her up and said, hey, like, there's, if you can please download this app to talk to me on the app. And through this, she said, and I said, you didn't think that was weird? Like, you know, and she was like, yeah, I did. But like, I was like, fuck it. Like, I'll talk, like, so what? Like, I'm such a huge fan. And I was like, okay. And she said she downloaded it. And I guess he hacked her. Or
maybe asked for credentials or something.
Asked for credentials. He must have asked for a certain level of information that she gave.
Right.
And he hacked her shit, which I felt terrible about. So I was like, I'm so sorry. But also in my head, I'm like, like, why do y'all do that shit, bro? Because a lot of people do it, and it sucks because even if, you know, she was a normal person, and she was super dope, and she was grateful, and it was a good experience. But think about how many people who were fans of mine who got fucked.
Yes.
Who were like, fuck this motherfucker.
Right.
And it had nothing to do with me, but because this person impersonated me and did all these things to them, now they're like, fuck this motherfucker. I don't even trust his real platform.
Right.
Because this is the type of shit that happens. Because people will assume that, like, maybe you got some fraud shit going on. You're like, you got motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't know. They don't know. So and it's just so frustrating because I'm like, fuck. And there's no way to fix it.
Right.
You
and
can't fix that shit. I forgot about that shit.
He had to be really convincing too.
He had to be really every time I asked her, because every time I asked her, I said, but what was he saying? Because I was trying to see, like, was he saying like sexual shit to you? Like, I was trying, and she didn't say any of that.
No, she didn't say any of that.
But I was trying to ask without asking.
She came up to him, Brendan. She was like, "Is this your dick?"
Imagine. She's like, wait a second. Is this yours? Oh my God, bro. But I was trying to ask without asking. Because I was like,
but she said that it
wasn't
like that at all.
She said it was just.
She said that her and the other guy were connecting over whatever it was going on at the time.
Talking about, and she didn't say. She just said we were.
I think she said maybe some traumatic event that had happened.
Damn, bro, these motherfuckers are so foul that they'll like bring up shit like try to connect with you on some like real deep shit and then say, hey, download this real quick. I'm gonna steal all your bank information.
I forgot to ask her for his @ So
she showed it to us.
Oh yeah, I gotta.
I didn't see. I didn't take a picture.
I want to reach out to him and ask him how he does it. So maybe I can.
It
is me asking for money.
Yo, what tribe you work for, motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? I want to hit them up too. Yeah, that was. She was very
dope.
Sweet.
Yeah. I think her name was Cynthia.
And I'm very sorry that you.
But she was so dope, man.
Yeah, she was chill. There was no like hard feelings. She was just like, you know.
We had a couple dope connections.
What's his name? Who bought me tacos?
Yeah, that was dope.
Fuck,
Jay.
what was homie? Jay.
Yeah, Jay was
Jay,
dope.
my guy. He was amazing. Really, really sweet guy. He brought his two cousins.
Yeah, they were dope too.
They were really cool.
Yeah.
Homie said he got divorced. He was asking me questions about. He said he asked on the You Good on the Sessions and Confessions. He said his question was.
What would you do?
He asked. He said, "Yo, at the comedy show, he said, what would you do if your son saw naked pictures of your girl on your phone and sent it
And
to his
forward
own
it
and
to
forwarded it to
himself.
his own phone. And that shit made me laugh.
That's so funny.
Because you can picture it, you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
And I'm gonna tell that story
Yeah.
later. I'm gonna tell my response later.
Yeah, you
Not
can't
for
do
the
that
this
here.
ain't for the free version,
you
though.
can't do that
But
here.
I'm gonna talk about that shit later. But I told Christy that story too, and I was like, yo, it's so funny. I didn't tell her the second half of what I said though. I didn't tell her what I said. And, but it is funny because like I was like, yo, that is so crazy because it's such a different dynamic. That's not their mom.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's not their mom. So it's like, you know, seeing your mom naked is something else. But like going through your dad's phone and seeing his shorty naked, even though that's like your, you know, like after a long time, like they got married. And shit. So like even though that's your stepmom, you know, you still like. There's a whole category on porn of stepmom. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you know, it's different.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah.
And that shit made me laugh, yo. That shit made me laugh.
That shit was so
like,
funny. Yeah, that was dope.
He was super dope, and they bought me food after, which was really nice. They were gonna buy Lee food too, but he didn't want any. And then we met a homie who came with his grandfather. He was also a patron.
Yeah.
We met a bunch of patrons, bro.
Yeah.
And we're not gonna talk about what he does because I don't want to, you know.
Yeah.
But he's in the military.
That was dope.
He was in the military. We had a really nice conversation with him. That's as far as I'll go. He brought this grandfather who was also amazing, really sweet guy, older guy. He had a good time at the show. We had a homie who didn't speak English, who tried praying on me.
That's right.
That's right. Yo, I've had people at my shows come up to me and ask, "Can I pray with you?" Which I always love. For sure, let's pray. We'll say a prayer, and it's 95% of the time it's really sweet, and it's really just a prayer. You know, it's a genuine prayer. Like I pray for this man, I pray for his success. You know, it's always really nice most of the time. This last show, homie came with his shorty who was a fan. He didn't speak English. He was like off the boat Dominican, and nice guy. You know, he was helping take pictures for a little while, and then I guess she was in the bathroom. So when she came out of the bathroom, he had told her like, "Hey, I just saw Kevin. I was helping him take some pictures. Like, you want to take a picture with him?" So he came up on stage after the show and was like, "Hey, you know," he told me in Spanish, like, you know, she was in the bathroom, but she's a big fan. Can you take a picture? And I said, "Yeah." And she came up, "Oh my God, I'm such a huge fan. Thank you. I've been following you for years. This is my husband, but like, you know, he doesn't speak English, obviously, but like, so he doesn't watch your stuff." He told me in Spanish how, you know, I tried to, and at this point we took pictures, and then he starts talking to me, and he starts saying that he tried to understand my set, and he can kind of understand it a little bit here and there, but he doesn't really quite understand. But then he starts telling me, "Well, you know, have you found God?" And I tell him, "Of course." And I see his shorty look at him with like this, like, shut the fuck up, and then turn around and walk away.
Oh shit.
And I was like, "Oh God, this is not gonna be good." And
Wait, come back, please.
Yeah, I'm like, no, buffer this motherfucker, dog. And he starts telling me, you know, super heavy Dominican accent, just essentially telling me, "You need God. You know, I was listening to your words, but like, you know, I know you're divorced, but you need to find God." And here's the thing. I don't like, and I said this to you, I don't like when people tell me I need to find, people who don't know me tell me I need to find God as if they know I haven't already found him, right? Or already have a relationship with him. That shit drives me crazy because you're not starting it from a godly perspective,
right? Because it's judgmental.
It's judgment.
Yeah.
It's judgment. You're not asking me, you're telling me based on my 45 minutes to an hour of seeing you need to find God, even though and have the balls to say I didn't really understand what you're saying, but just based on this, you need to find God. You need God, and I told you, and then like he like he like slapped me on my back and like grabbed me, and that shit,
That
I don't.
part is
Lee,
funny.
I don't like that shit, bro. Like, because then that also feels like you're trying to
Little bro me.
Yeah, you're trying to like take the situation over, bro. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if it was because, I don't know. And it was hard because obviously I speak Spanish, but he's Dominican. There's a language barrier there.
Yeah.
He's fucking Dominican. So so I'm trying to understand it, and I'm sure a lot of it came from a positive perspective or whatever.
Maybe.
I just don't. There's something about just me personally. There's something about people telling me to find God that I fucking hate.
Yeah.
Because you don't know me, dog.
Right.
And I already have a relationship with him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You have one? Cool. I bet. But don't
Don't make
assume
it seem right.
that I don't.
Right. Or don't try to make it seem like you're better than me for even if I didn't.
Even if I didn't.
Yeah.
Even if I did. Because I would never do that to somebody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You think I wouldn't want Chrissy to have a relationship with God?
Right.
You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Of course that's something that I want.
You
know
don't
what I'm
want to turn her
But
off to it.
I would
though.
never turn, but I know that like if she'll ever have a like real relationship, you know
Has
what
to
I'm
come from her.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna say real because I know she believes, and,
Right, right,
or
right. Right.
she believes. But
Right.
I'm saying if she were, of course I would want her to have a relationship with Jesus Christ. Like of course that's something, but I would never in my life preach to her or tell her she should do something or tell her to go to church
Right.
or because in reality, none of us are perfect. We're all sinners. We all fuck up. None of us are worthy of God. And
I think it has to come from the person.
it has to come from the
Has to
person.
come
It has
from
to
the
happen
person.
to you. Your relationship with God is your relationship with God. It has nothing to do with me.
Right.
Maybe you could see me and be
inspired
or
or
feel
curious.
curious
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah,
but
absolutely.
like, but that's it.
Yeah.
In my opinion, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's people who are like, no, you gotta, push people or whatever. But like, I've never found that to work. Because people do that shit to me and it fucking
I can't stand it.
it drives
can't
me
stand it.
crazy,
Yeah.
son. Don't do that shit, bro. And then someone
it's
did
a
it
turn
again.
off.
Remember?
Yeah, the second show.
Oh
it
my
was even...
God, bro.
But maybe you do need God.
Yeah,
so-
I was like, yo. I remember hitting Chrissy like, what's up with these motherfuckers, bro? Maybe I don't. That's what I said to her. I said, maybe I don't have a relationship with God. These motherfuckers watching my shows like, yo, this motherfucker's ungodlike. You know what I mean?
They're watching the show the whole time like, damn, this motherfucker needs God.
And
yo.
he was American. And he was American. He was homie in the second half was a regular, and he was young.
Yeah, young dude.
He was a young dude, and he did the same shit. Slapped me on my back, and I was
That
like,
was so
"Son,"
funny, bro. That
I
was
was
so
like,
funny.
"Why y'all keep slapping me on my back?" You know what I'm saying? Like, touch me again, and I am going to stab
That's
you,
so
son.
funny,
Get the
dude.
fuck out of here. But outside of that, Arlington was
Arlington
dope.
was great. And after all that, shit.
All right, guys, we're going to hop over to the Patreon. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Please consider hopping over to the Patreon and getting the second hour of the show. We love you. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. We will see you next week.
Peace.